Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. We're on site. We're looking at a Mercedes, a 2004 E320 4MATIC. Now this is the one with the blown air shock that got fixed a month ago. And now it's a crank, no start. And the customer said it's been a very intermittent issue. You know, he drives fine, doesn't stall, shuts the car down, goes to start it back up a while later, and it's a crank, no start. And one thing, interesting thing is that the fuel gauge reads empty whenever this happens. Otherwise, the car drives normally, everything works. So right now, yesterday we had a big rainstorm. It was like 2 inches of rain. And this car sat out here in the rain. And this morning it is completely dead. Again, crank, no start. So we have to figure out what's going on. I hooked up the old Autel here, did a full code scan. It has like almost 30 different modules, starting with the central gateway, and there's codes everywhere. However, I can't find the engine control module on here. We'll scroll down here, you can see what's on in the list. Driver side, passenger side. SAM is signal acquisition module. Now, we did some research beforehand, and the fuel pump and the fuel level sensor is read by the rear signal acquisition module, the rear SAM. And that module is not on our code scan list, and for some reason neither is the engine control module. It's very strange. There's all kinds of power seats, heated seats, driver door, steering control, heated steering wheel, instrument cluster, etc. Maybe the instrument cluster is a good place to start. It says 10 faults. However, when we come in here to read the faults, read codes, you get 3 codes, and they're all old stored codes that, okay, sensor 2 for fuel level is jammed. Maybe that's a clue, but why don't we have 10 codes instead of 3? So just to rule out variables, I'm going to try a different scanner. We'll try the launch. Oh man, maybe the battery's dead. See if that thing fires up. We'll try the Verus, but again, the Verus isn't the strongest on these European vehicles. Here's the symptoms. See, our fuel gauge is on 0, and we crank it. Nothing. Okay? Now actually the key wasn't all the way to the right, so we could do another scan with, you know, everything active, and see if the engine control module comes up. So backing out of the auto scan, let's just try to get into this engine control module. Motor electronics, that should be it. SFI. And this thing should at least give us a clue. If it can't communicate with that rear module, the SAM, we should be able to see it on the engine controller. We don't want to drain this battery. Okay, so P203A, that's the one you had before, right, Jim? Fuel tank level.
Yeah. See
tank level sensor stored and current. So our, you know, it's showing the little, you're out of fuel light, and this thing does have fuel in it. Hot fill mass airflow sensor, check wiring of signal, check engine light. Okay, not too concerned about that. One other thing we can't do right now to get to the fuel pump relay, which is in the trunk, is open the damn trunk, because that might also be controlled by that rear module. And if that module got wet in the rainstorm, which apparently is kind of a common thing on these, then, you know, what do you do? Let's try going into body and seeing what options we have here. See, rear SAM, rear signal acquisition and actuation module. I want to try to access that right now. And if we have a no-com with that, then, you know, then that's our problem for sure. No-com, Jim, with the rear SAM.
I had a feeling.
Yep. And if we could get into that, then we could, you know, actuate the fuel pump, etc. We have to figure out a way to open this trunk, because without opening the trunk, we can't get to the module. And with the module dead, we can't open the trunk. Which comes first, chicken or the egg, right, Jim? That's the way they engineer these things. You can't fix it while it's broke. You can try passenger side, SAM. See if we get into that. But you would think that this code for no-com would be stored in some module. If, you know, if we can't talk to that, if the module is offline, this thing should be able to set codes in other modules for a no-com. So yeah, the passenger side SAM seems to be working just fine. I mean, the central gateway should be like the master node in this network. Should be able to store something. System pass, no fault codes detected. Imagine that. Amazing. See if there's anything else. System diagnosis can. We could try that, I guess. Read codes. And what does that mean? Synchronization of the DTC memory cannot be ensured. Of course not. That's all we have in body. Battery control module, airbag. Oh, what else? Information and communication. So this is everything like the media, audio. Maybe the instrument cluster will give us a clue. Nope. Here we go. Fault and CAN, communication with rear unit, rear SAM, stored and current. Interesting. So stored codes, don't really pay attention to those. Stored and current, fault and CAN communication with the control unit audio gateway. I wonder if this thing works. Fault and CAN communication with control unit RCP roof control panel. Does our power roof work? No? Fault and CAN communication with control module full air suspension. So this is helpful. So we'll save that list. So this 9112 fault and CAN communication with the control unit rear SAM. Huh. Okay, so basically we have to worry about rear SAM, all the current ones, roof control panel, audio gateway. So 3 current codes, right? Very interesting. So from here, we need to look up the network for this car, which, you know, it says CAN communication. Is there just one CAN network? Is there multiple CAN networks? We need a good wiring diagram. See if we can at least, you know, do we need to put a breakout box on this DLC, or is this network only going through the gateway, and the gateway, you know, doesn't even tell us which modules are offline? So we need a wiring diagram, or at least some information on this bus network topology. So just to prove the concept, we're in the trunk right now. We got that open with the manual key, which the owner had, which is helpful. So I'm just going to jump the load side of the fuel pump relay. So these 2 big pins here, that's the load side. And if this fuel pump kicks on, we should be able to start the car. Is it running? Can you hear anything? Oh, that's another question. Do we have power back here, right? Well, I guess we can at least see if there's any current going through here. Let's do that. Yeah, we don't have any feed back here at all. Well, that's interesting.
Seems like that came straight from
the battery, right?
I think, if I remember. Well, that's hard to remember.
Yeah. Let's look up a power distribution diagram for this thing and see if we have power on any one of these pins. Alright, so we have constant battery power here from the battery going to our jumper, going to the pin that feeds the fuel pump. Fuel pump is running. We have 7 amps draw. Let's see if this thing actually fires up. Magic.
Power problem.
So it seems like we have a power feed problem to that rear control module, because we should have a constant power on the other load side pin. So I think we have to chase that, and then I don't know. That's definitely priority. This communication, you know, network problem may or may not still be an issue, but we have to figure out why we're missing a power feed on the load side of that fuel pump relay.
Quick, something quick here.
Yep. So I'm going to unplug the fuel pump, and this thing should stall out pretty quickly, and it's off. All right. So let's see what powers up this whole module, and you know, power distribution. So we hot-wired the fuel pump, and we're just driving the Mercedes to Jim's shop. One thing I did notice is the brake lights aren't working either. So that whole rear module is obviously down, and we're assuming it's a bad power feed now. We're gonna get to the bottom of this very soon. Well, we printed out some Mitchell wiring diagrams, and in this case, they are very, very helpful. So, there's the battery. It comes down to this, let's see, rear prefuse box, lower right front of trunk. And then from there, we have a 200 amp fuse that goes to our rear SAM control module with fuse and relay from there. So if we're missing power to the whole rear SAM, we have to go to this prefuse box. Just doing a visual inspection, what do we see?
Green crusties.
We indeed see green crusties right in this wire. It is supposed to be red. It is black, it's burned, there's a lot of heat buildup. I mean, this thing will just snap right off. That's our problem. We could, just proof of concept here, you know, give this wire good power, maybe connect it right to the battery with a jumper, cut off the bad part here. Then if everything works, we're just gonna have to repair this guy, and this Mercedes should be back on the road.
You just lost everything out of it.
Yeah. So let's see, fuse 79, 200 amp. That is indeed F79. You guys can make that out. So that's our voltage drop right there. I mean, this thing is all charred and it's been getting hot for a while. Whoa. See, I wiggled it.
That's a speaker up there. That's
okay.
Always making a bunch of. We've probably got power now.
Right there. See, I wiggled it. Alrighty, let's. Well, I guess we'll disconnect the battery, do a proper repair on this, or bypass test, whatever, and show you the results. So first things first, let's disconnect our battery. That's a massive battery. This thing's all electrical. And now, try to get that crusty wire off of here. This thing's kind of melted in, but it should come out. Take some of these other guys out of here. Oh yeah, that terminal has seen better days, I'll tell you that right now. Might get a little pride out of it.
Yeah, she definitely melted down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it got green crusties in it, and it just started heating up.
We'll do it every time, right?
Damn right. Amazing how hot things get when they get green crusties on.
Yeah, extra resistance, we got voltage drop. That means we have power dissipation in unwanted places.
Yeah.
If that's a 200 amp fuse, that's a lot of...
Yeah, you're not going to blow that too easy.
All right.
Probably all I have to do is put a new terminal on there.
Yeah, probably. If we can get this old one out.
Yeah, it's fun part.
There we go. It's coming. Alright. So this guy we need to repair and replace.
If it didn't bust that loose in the back.
Well,
side.
yeah, I think it is, because the other one's really tight.
Yeah, it's all melted out of there.
So we're gonna try to see what's inside of here. These clips should come right up. Okay. I'm guessing the other two wires will just buzz right off here. So the fuses are inside of this plastic housing. Ta-da-da-da-da. This probably clips on the back side. And this whole thing is held in. Okay, it comes out like that. It comes out like that. Try to get out here where we can work on it. Okay, the whole thing unclips. We can take it off of this main lug. So these little fuses, they just pop right out. It's pink, blue, red, and green, so you don't mix up the colors. Well, they're actually labeled right on the box there, so we won't make a mistake on that. And now we just need to disconnect this main huge cable. We can tear this thing apart and hopefully replace the big fuse in there. Alright, now we got this guy. Go from here. Whole bunch of little clips. There's a little pry bar. Boom. And it'd be nice to snap some of this German plastic off of here. Oh yeah. 200 ampere. A little toasty. Okay, so I guess these are replaceable. We're gonna have to take a trip to the dealer to get a specialty fuse. Now, let's see, these studs in here. I'm guessing you have to take this whole plate off. Those are all okay, there we go. And that right there is our problem. Plastic's nice and melted. If we replace this guy, I think we should be in good shape. Now I'm wondering if the contact here, if this screw got a little loose or something, and that's where all the heat got generated, because this fuse isn't blown, it's just really, really hot and melted. That's that. I broke the little plastic thing off the fuse, and indeed it's still intact. But obviously we can't reinstall this. It's been compromised, to say the least. So we'll try to order one, or somehow put a 200 amp fuse in here like it's supposed to work, and then, you know, that'll be the repair. But we should still, and also repair this terminal, which has been overheated and corroded. Alright, so we just temporarily put the bad wire on one of the good fuses, and that sound is really annoying. Put the fuel pump relay back in here. So we already got a new fuse box ordered up from the dealership. There's only 9 left in the country. Apparently they blow up all the time. It wasn't that expensive, it was under $100. And fire it up, Jim, let's see what happens. All right. Touch the brake pedal. I want to see if the brake lights work. Oh yeah, they do. Sweet. You want to leave it like that and just call it a fix?
I'll talk to the owner and see what he wants.
Yeah. Well, that's that. I mean, that one wire, that was the big 200 amp fuse. Now they're both running off of 150. So that's a.
I'd say it needs to be fixed right.
Yep, it needs to be fixed right. So we'll get the new fuse box in, get it all squared away. Well, that's it for the diagnosis. So I guess it wasn't a network problem. I was kind of looking forward to doing some kind of water intrusion, you know, network communication, but it was just the main power feed to this rear signal acquisition module there. That's it, powers and grounds. And that's what's left of our melted fuse. That's it. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for Jim for giving me a chance to help him out on the Mercedes, and I guess we'll see you on the next one.